Hey girl, hey, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Misha. Thank you guys for joining me yet again for another review. We are back with a brand new review for Tyler Perry's Sistas, Season 4, Episode 8, The Sister. If you are new here, then welcome. I give lighthearted reviews with a little bit of laughter and a little bit of shade and a whole lot of detail. If you're back for a second or third time, then welcome back. Please don't hesitate to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel if you get anything out of the content. And y'all, please do not forget to hit that notification bell so that you will be updated each and every time I upload a video. Now, child, let's get into it if we're going to get into it. Previously on Tyler Perry's Sistas. The penthouse is still penthousing. Zach is shutting Gary all the way down, and Fatima is accepting an invitation. So when the episode first opens up, they've just heard the news of Casper, the friendly baby. Honey, because she ain't bit more pregnant than the man in the moon, honey. What baby? Okay, until you go to the doctor, I don't know nothing about no baby. I don't know nothing about birthing no babies. So Danny's nerves are bad. Child, she can't even open a bottle. She's like, you would think he would get a better wine opener. Baby, her little nerves are shot. Do y'all hear me? Oh, child, her nerves are so bad. So she trying to open it up, and they looking at her crazy. Here go Karen. Danny, I'm pregnant. Okay, is it a national holiday or what else is going on? Okay, you're pregnant. We got it. People have babies every day, B. So she's like, I'm pregnant. So they're like, are you okay? She's fine. She show. Moving forward. So they're all sitting there looking crazy, honey, like it's a funeral. I'm like, nobody died, y'all. It's a baby being born. There's going to be a birth, but not a death. Child, this is a whole fool. So Danny's like, so, question. Are you going to keep it? Child, they going to look back at her. That's actually a valid question, especially with her not really wanting Aaron and whatnot. So we don't really know. So they looking at Danny and she's like, no, that is a legitimate question. Andy is like, for another time. Says who? Hush, Andrea, honey, because let me tell you something. We are here, so let's talk about it. Okay, let's get it all out. If one of my best friends was sitting in front of me and she said she was pregnant, I'd be asking all these questions. Girl, what you gonna do? So you gonna keep the baby? But wait a minute, how you gonna tell him? Did you tell him already? Girl, let's take another test. Let's just go to the Walgreens and get a test right now. And you can take it in front of me. Girl, I got you. Like, there's nothing wrong with asking those questions. Andy, shut up. So Karen is like, of course I'm keeping the baby. Of course you are, especially since it's Zach's baby, allegedly. So Danny was like, well, okay, well, I'm right. So they're like, well, a baby is good. It's going to be good for all of us. Danny said, no, it's going to be good for y'all because I'm not doing no damn babysitting. Danny, oh, she crazy. Well, at least she keeping it real, honey. She like, look, I ain't about to be watching no Highland kids. I do not blame you, child. Andy looked at Danny. She gonna say, how many times do I have to say you do not have to say everything that you're thinking? She was like, and how many times do I have to say that y'all want to say? I know that's real. Touche, Danny, touche. So Danny said, the next question is, whose baby is it? Sabrina's like, well, that's a good question. She's like, it's Zach's baby, obviously. Is it obvious? Because last time I checked, you had a whole man. Or you were messing around with somebody if he ain't your man. So, I mean, it's really not that obvious. So Andy said, well, does he know? She said, yes. She said, does Aaron know? I told him too. Andy said, so how many weeks are you? I don't know. I ain't been to the doctor. Well, girl, you should go to the doctor and then come back. So Danny said, wait a minute. Girl, you mean to tell me we got all this drama over a funky pregnancy test? Sabrina's like, what do you mean? Sabrina, girl, huh? Be quiet, girl. Danny said, well, those things are crazy inaccurate. And so they looking at her like, how would you know? Child, because you know she probably keep pregnancy tests in her purse, child. So Karen said, all three of them? Baby, she want to be pregnant by Zach so bad. Child, just go on, let her be, Danny, honey. She said she done took 3 tests, and baby, she gonna prove you wrong. She is pregnant. 3 times over. She took 3 tests, so let her have it, child. So Danny said, are you sure it's Zach's? She said, yes. I was waiting on her to say, I'm sure. But you know, we done stopped her from saying I'm sure because we been making fun of her saying I'm sure. So I'm sure she ain't gonna say it no more. Moving forward. So just then the doorman calls and it's Fatima. Hello? Andrea? Yes, there's someone downstairs. Oh, okay, send her up. My girls hold me down. The boys mess around and sing. When the scene opens back up, Andy was like, oh my gosh, I should not have invited her. Danny was like, well, yeah, because it's giving setup. Okay, it's giving very much setup, honey, and is. But little does she know, she about to have that wig cracked because it's not going to work. Okay, you are not going to be able to blindside Fatima. It ain't going to work, child. Andy is like, yeah, I mean, Karen, it's giving setup energy. Karen said, what do you mean? She's like, are you sure that Zach knows? Danny said, oh, no, girl, not you about to tell her tonight? She was like, yes, I'm not going to say anything. I'm just going to see how much she knows. Girl. So Andy's like, I don't like this. I don't like it. Andy, you don't like nothing but Gary, honey. So Karen said, it's fine. She needs to know what kind of man she dealing with. Which is, what kind of man is he, Karen? Because the last time you assumed what kind of man he was, you lost your man by assuming he would steal your credit card and run a bill up. So what kind of man is he? Child, Karen is the worst kind of person. You miserable and now you want Fatima miserable too. So Danny is like, okay, just let it play out. Don't worry about it, Andy. She's already here. She's on the elevator. It's cool. Child, Danny loves some mess. Danny was like, it's about to be a show. So Sabrina's like, well, no, everything's going to be fine. You know how Sabrina is. We're all adults. Sabrina, what is all this fabric that you are draped in? Girl, it's giving ridiculousness. Girl, you need to get yourself together. So Andy is trying to grab Karen's purse. And she's like, well, can I hold your purse? Child, Karen and her bell bottoms ain't gonna bust a grape. She ain't getting into all that, honey, to potentially lose this phantom pregnancy. This is her last lifeline to Zach. You think she about to be shooting up the place and fighting with Fatima? Girl, absolutely not. Oh, no, ma'am. So Andy goes to get Fatima. Child, she comes dressed in all black from head to toe, looking like she about to commit a crime, giving very much Cleo from Set It Off realness. Do y'all hear me? Set it off on the right, y'all. Set it off on the left, y'all. Set it off. Child, shout out to the Set It Off soundtrack. Oh, honey. So here go Andy, old scary self. Hi. Okay, yeah, okay. Nice to see you. How you doing? Girl, it's gonna be okay. So she's like, well, if I would have known that I was coming to somebody else's house, I would have dressed a little nicer. She was like, no, you look nice. So Fatima's like, girl, what is wrong with you? Should I be scared? No. You should not be scared, okay? There may be some information. Girl, get into it if you're going to get into it, okay? Girl, this news is not new. It's only new to you and your crew, okay? So Karen comes walking up. She's like, come on in. I just want to talk to you. So Fatima's like, what is going on? Andy said, well, let me apologize first of all. Had I known, I would not have invited you. So Karen is like, oh, really? She said, well, you kept me in the dark. Here you go, Karen. Are you sure you just didn't stay there? Karen, shut the hell up. Girl, you had ample time to tell Andy, who is your BFF, that you were pregnant. You told Pam before you told Andy. You just want to cause a scene, girl. Moving forward. So Fatima's like, why am I here? Honey, I know that's real. Like, get to it. So Karen gonna say, come, sit. She's like, no, I'll stand. I know that's real, child. You will not sit me down. Girl, someone have a seat. So you can be standing over me? Absolutely not. So Karen takes a grand stand. And when I tell y'all, baby, she stood up. Wait, because I had to watch this episode so many times because these first few scenes were good to me. So she takes a grand stand, child. She puts her hands behind her back. I'm pregnant. Fatima said, oh, okay, well, congrats. By Zach. Girl, the way you thought you ate and you still starving. Girl, goodbye, honey. That had me hollering. I said, Karen, it's giving nothing. Okay, it's giving absolutely nothing. Child, she wanted Fatima to be bothered and broken so bad. Fatima was like, congratulations, honey, ready to throw a gender reveal and everything. She said, yeah, he already told me. Abort mission, Karen. Just abort mission, girl. Just abort mission. So Danny's sliding all off the side of the couch, child. I'm so distracted because I'm looking at her in her Fashion Over jeans, child, and they slide. So Danny said, well, he told you. She said, yeah, as soon as he found out, he came home and he told me. She said, well, you know, when they had sex the last time, we weren't exclusive. I didn't really know what I wanted. He didn't really know what he wanted. But, you know, now that we are clear, he tells me everything. Oh, but baby, when that didn't work, Karen had another trick under that wig. She gonna say, oh, does he? Well, does he tell you that he calls me? This is embarrassing. Poor thing. Are you sure he calls you, Karen? Because I don't think that he calls you. So she said, no, he didn't. She said, well, yep, calls me almost every day. Fatima said, well, that's funny, because I have his password and I never saw your name pop up. She's like, well, he got 2 phones. I got 2 phones. We know he got 2 phones, child. She was like, oh, I know, and I have the password to that one as well. Oh, baby. This is turning out to be a disaster. This exchange had me on the edge of my seat. Baby, they were face to face, and it was a full-on showdown. Do you hear me? Karen, it's your move, honey. What you gonna do? What you gonna do? Child, let's see. Fatima is being real grown, even after Karen tried to, do the whole high school thing. He calls me. Girl, call Maury and find out who the child's father is. How about that call? That's what you need to be calling. So she's like, is that why you called me here? She said, yeah, you just need to be careful. Careful of what? Or what? Shout out to Erica. Fatima is like, yeah, and you're concerned about me. Why? Here go Karen. I'm not concerned about you. She said, oh, okay, well, thank you for being concerned. She was like, I am not concerned about you. I am not. Baby, it's okay. Okay, you thought you were about to engage in some ghetto behavior and Fatima busted your bubble real quick. It is okay. Everybody don't have time to play childish games with you. It is quite all right. So she's like, well, if that's all, I already knew that. So here go Karen. Well, when the baby comes, his father will be in his or her life. Karen, shut up. Girl, shut up. I can't even take you seriously right now. I just cannot. She's like, we can't have issues. Fatima said, absolutely none. She said, well, you still have 9 months. That's a long time. Karen gonna say, are you threatening me? Now you trying to get cussed out. Where in there does it sound like that's a threat? Karen, what are you saying? And Tyler, what are you writing? That don't make no sense. So she gonna tell her, well, me and Zach are new, so we may not work out. Only time will tell. I would never have said that in front of Karen. Even if I thought it, I still wouldn't say it. But here go Danny from the peanut gallery over on the side. Yeah, you just saying that to try to make her feel better? You know that boy crazy about you. Listen to me, y'all. No matter how I feel about Karen, I wish my friend would say to another heifer, the man that I'm still in love with, that he's crazy about his new woman. Girl, you crazy as hell. Danny, you really do not like Karen. Danny, whose team are you on? And yeah, I'm childish like that. It's teams. You either team Karen or you team Fatima. And we've been friends since college. So how dare you sit up here and make me feel bad? Girl, what is wrong with you? She's like, yeah, and I'm crazy about him too. And, I'm just saying, we do think that we're going to work. But when you have your baby and he brings it into our home, I will never mistreat your baby. If it's Zach's. Honey, if being the operative word. Moving forward. She said, well, I think we should work on a paternity test first. That's what we should work on. She said, we? Yes, ma'am. Have you speaking in French? Ooh la, oui. C'est la vie. Shout out to Lil' Kim. Yes, we. Okay, all of us together as a collective. You called me like you wanted me involved, so I'm involved. Therefore, and thus and such, we need to go on down and have a paternity test. First thing, honey, we can do it by a blood test. We ain't even got to wait till the baby born. We can get all this squared away by the time the baby gets here and starts to hollering. And what else is going on? She said, so you think I'm lying? She said, no, it couldn't hurt. Fatima about to leave, right? So then Karen gets up and she's like, Fatima, I apologize for saying he calls me. She's like, I'm just mad. I don't even really just know you. I just wanted to hurt you. And I thought that was big of Karen and her bell bottoms. I know that took everything in her to say that. She's like, I don't really know you. I'm not mad at you. This is about us and everything we went through. And now he wants to do good and be with you. Ooh, wee. I promise y'all, I can relate to this. I vowed never to make another patchwork quilt ninja good for somebody else. And when I call them patchwork quilt, that's because I had to get them, patch them up, make them something, and then when they're able to cover you, they go find somebody else to keep warm. Baby, I was pissed the last time I did that. And I said, you know what? From here on out, if you don't come already pre-made, then I don't want it. It ain't nothing a half-assed man can do for me moving forward. Absolutely nothing. I'm not helping you get on your feet. I'm not going to do this, that, and the third. I'm not going to teach you how to treat me. You need to know how to treat me before you get to me. Because every time I put a man together, he dog me out, treat me like he going to treat me, and then move on over, honey. Ooh, child, well, let me get off my soapbox, honey. Men will literally dog you out, hear you begging for this and that, and then the minute they get the next woman, give them everything that you have been begging for. Moving forward. Fatima was actually very understanding of Karen. She was like, you know what? I get it. Karen seemed more relatable in this scene. Tyler, more of this. Let Karen loosen up a little bit and change her clothes, for goodness sakes. That 70s show. So she's like, well, I've been you. I don't want to hurt you or I don't want to try you. I actually wish you the best. She's like, if this is his baby, she's like, it is. She said, okay, if I will never mistreat your child. So she's turning around to leave. Here go Danny. Well, come on, girl. Don't leave like that. I mean, come on, sit down. Danny like us some Fatima. Child, Fatima said right on down. Let me tell you something. This is cute, but I don't know if I would be sitting down like we BFFs. I don't know if I'd be able to do that, honey. I got to shake the devil off first. It's no way that I can just come sit in your mix. I do like the fact that they all understood where Karen was coming from and whatnot, but I'm not about to sit down with you. So then they all start bonding over how they all want to be loved. And Danny is like, it's just really hard to find love. Danny, what are you talking about? Preston is literally begging to love you. Girl, hush. Moving forward. So Fatima tries to chime in, and Danny was like, sis, sit this one out, okay? Because you got the new Zach. And Karen was like, apparently you got a Zach that I wasn't even introduced to. I don't even know this Zach. I was like, y'all really finna talk about this relationship? Okay, it's getting weird, child. So they stopped. And then Danny was like, y'all want some Mary Jane? And y'all know I gotta say that because, we're on the YouTube and whatnot. And child, I'm trying to make sure that my video gets monetized. So Fatima is like, oh, that's a good plan. If I can stay. So they all look over at Karen. Not Karen being the deciding factor. You already asked her to stay and she came and sat on down. So clearly Karen doesn't matter. So then they reconvene in Andy's new kitchen. And Danny is telling them that the trafficking cop wants to take her on a date. So then Sabrina was like, some things happened between me and Calvin. Danny gonna say, oh, shit. When I tell y'all I laughed so loud, because I swear I was thinking the exact same thing. Sabrina. Nobody wants to hear it, child. So then Sabrina brings up Calvin getting in a fight. Andy said, oh no, is he okay? Sabrina said, what do you mean? Here go Danny. You know damn well what she means. Child, then she twirled around like a ballerina and hit the floor. The way I hollered at that. Baby, this scene right here, I don't know if it's the penthouse that's giving it the zhuzh that should be given. I don't know if it's Fatima coming toe-to-toe and face-to-face with Karen. But this scene right here was so good to me, y'all. Oh, it was good. She's like, no, he's fine. Sabrina, don't get mad, honey. Okay, don't get mad. They just saying. So Danny's like, has any guy ever tried to get you back by buying you a penthouse and a Rolls Royce, Fatima? She's like, hell no. Wait a minute, Andy. I'm speaking directly to you, honey. Did Gary buy this? She was like, well, she said, girl, what kind of ill nana do you got? And y'all remember I said the same thing a few reviews back. She was like, you need to bottle that up and sell it. Didn't I tell y'all she must have kryptonite down there? Gotta be. So then Danny starts talking to a child, talking about, are you being sold? Because I can help you. If you don't get from in front of that lady. So Karen over there looking stiff. Here go Andy. Karen, are you okay? She's like, yeah, I'm kind of tired. Girl, babies will do that to you. Go ahead and leave, honey. Tima gonna fill in for you. Don't worry about it. My girls hold me down. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding, y'all. In the next scene, back at the house, Zach looking like a schnizzak and gets a call from Jake from State Farm. So he tells him that he apologizes for Gary. And he was like, you know what? When you hit on that stock, it raised some flags. He's like, you need to diversify. Here goes Zach. What does that even mean? He's like, you just need to buy some winners and some losers. He's like, why would I buy some losers? He was like, you can't win all the time. Stocks go up and down. Boy, are you new? Well, he is new, so there's that. So he was like, you just need to do that to get the heat off of you. Okay, why are you being so nice to Zach? I don't trust him at all. When I say at all, I mean as far as I can throw him. And I can't pick him up, so I don't trust him. Moving forward. So Fatima shows up dressed in all black like the Omen. Hey, girl. And he's like, I was about to put out an APB on you. She's like, I'm good. He said, so how did it go? She said, well, I really like those girls. He said, even Karen? She said, yes, even Karen. Well, that's a plot twist. But it is nice to see women put their differences to the side instead of fighting over a man. Quite frankly, I wouldn't have been sitting down breaking bread with Karen or nothing. But it's good to see that they can be cordial to each other. So Fatima was like, she did try me, but, I held my own. I just handled it. I said my piece. Okay, girl, instead of pulling out your piece. He said, she ain't gonna be looking like Hayden, is she? She said, no, she is not. She's good. So then he tells her about Gary trying to get him with the whole setup and trying to get Fatima to put him back together with Andy and all this and all that. Fatima's like, Zach, do not trust them. He's like, I'm not. Girl, you better tell him because he don't know no better. In the next scene, Karen gets a call from Andy saying she couldn't come because all her things are there. Girl, pack a bag. All you need is a toothbrush, your night clothes, and your clothes that you're going to wear tomorrow. She going to take Gary back. So just let her do what she going to do, Karen. So Aaron calls Karen while she's on the phone with Andy. And so she gets off and they're talking. So he makes a comment about Zach. And she got real quiet. He said something along the lines of, he's some kind of dude or something, and I see why you not with him no more. And so Karen kind of got like quiet. Baby, don't talk about her man, her child, and her mama. Shout out to Candy Birds. Please do not talk about Zach, honey. If you want to get cussed out, that's the quickest way to get cussed out. So Aaron was like, okay, well, let me change the subject. Okay, look. So I got a calendar, and you sure? She was like, oh my God. Aaron, please. He was like, no. You really should just look at the dates. So she starts getting mad. She's like, no, I haven't even been to the doctor. I'm not about to look at any dates. Well, honey, then you need to go. So he was like, well, when are you going? She's like, when I make an appointment. Well, hop to it. Child, she about to cut Aaron smooth off. Aaron, you better tread lightly. She does not want this to be your baby. He's like, listen, it could be mine. And if it is, I'm going to be extremely happy. And baby, she does not like that man at all. Aaron, go on, get off the phone, honey, and go home and stretch out. Moving forward. In the next scene, Andy discovers the tablet that says, play me. Child, is Gary walking her through the apartment, or the penthouse, my bad, while she skins and grins. And in this drawer, she finds like love letters that he wrote to her, and he tells her to go to the freezer. In the freezer is her favorite ice cream. No amount of Haagen-Dazs in the world would make me take Gary back. Not none. Okay, none. So he's like, I need you. I want you. Okay, there are two buttons. One says come. The other says no. If you press come, then I'll get a message. Girl, put that tablet down. It's time for bed, honey. The same thing I tell my 6-year-old. Turn that tablet off. Turn that tablet off and put that tablet down. We are continuing on and tomorrow's a new day. Girl, and why does the man always have to have access to you after you have said no? And child, I'm sure she pressed come with all them tears streaming down her face and whatnot. In the next scene, Zach shows up to his spot and he gets a call from Gary. He was like, I was just calling to apologize. Y'all sure are calling to apologize back to back to back. He's like, I also want to tell you about the circles that I heard your name in, but I'm just going to let Jake tell you. So before he hangs up, he tells him, you need to take some money out of the bank. He was like, why? Is it going to get bad? He was like, no, but cash is king. So he's telling him to take some money out. So then he asked about the stock. He was like, where did you get that stock from? How did you know that tip? He said, I told you it was a hunch. He was like, oh, okay. Well, then he gets off the phone. Baby hangs up. And here comes Hayden limping in. Baby, I know you fucking lying. I knew Gary couldn't be trusted. I knew it. I did not have any idea that he would be connected to Hayden. But the fact that he is, and then he trying to get Andy back, Karen is absolutely right. It's probably cameras all up and through that place. I would not sleep there if my life depended on it. Absolutely not. Gary got Hayden watching Andy. He is sick. Andy, you better listen to Karen just this once at least. Child, you better listen. I cannot believe these two are tied together. Fatima should have got rid of Hayden when she had the chance, child. Moving forward. So just then, Jake comes in and hop along Cassidy. He leaves. Goodbye, Hayden, and good riddance. So Jake is like, it's weird you got him watching your ex. He's like, he's not watching my ex. Well, what is he doing then? You're obsessed with Andy. You really are. In the next scene, Maurice shows up to the empty bank and trust. Hey, Maurice, I missed you. So Q pops up. Child, he done got out. Guess he's been paroled to Maurice's house. And he's like, if I don't get to your house within an hour, I'm going back to jail. So Maurice is standing his ground and he's begging him to go to his house. And Maurice is like, no, you tried to rob me. He's like, I'm sorry. He said, no, I have a roommate. He's like, well, I'll just stay in your room. Maurice said, no, I'm not doing it. So then Sabrina shows up. She's like, what are you doing out? I'm calling the police. Girl, if you don't pull out your cell phone and call the police, she done opened the whole bank up so he can go right in there behind her and rob her yet again instead of standing there and calling from her cell phone. Tyler, get it together. So when she walked inside of the empty bank and trust, Q took off. In the last scene, Jake shows up to Zach's spot. So he's telling Zach that they had an inquiry to the FCC. He was like, what? He's like, just tell them you've been following the company, okay, if they ask you any questions. He said, what are the margins for 2015? He's like, how am I going to remember the margins from 2015? He was like, okay, so what about 6 months ago? So Zach tried to lie. He was like, yeah, I can tell you 6 months ago. Crickets. Jake said, listen, man, I don't know how you knew about that stock, but just let me help you. You need to spend some time with me, and I'm going to prep you, because if they come for you, you need to be ready. So he was like, why are you so interested in helping me? He's like, man, I like you. You're a good dude. You like him in what way? Because this ain't making no sense to me. I don't know how you're connected. I don't know who you tied to, but it's fishy. It's getting very much fish and shrimp, and I don't like it. So, baby, next thing you know, Zach Taylor, put your hands behind your back. He's like, what? You're under arrest. And scene. Baby, not Gary being tied to Hayden and trying to get Andy back in the same breath. Not Karen not knowing who her baby daddy is, if there even is a baby. Not Fatima thinking she a part of the girl group. Oh, honey, this was a whole fool. But let me tell you something. I thoroughly enjoyed this episode. It didn't give a lot, but it was still entertaining nonetheless. Y'all comment down below and tell me exactly what you thought about Sistas this week. And I will jump down in the comments and get to kikiing with y'all. Don't hesitate to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. And as always, stay safe, stay blessed, spread love, not germs. Peace.